Good morning, everyone. Nick Barris here. It is MorningLine. It is Thursday. We are live from the Plus Studios, and it's open phones. We're going to open up the phone lines for you. Had a couple weeks where we weren't able to do this, of course, because of the Vanderbilt rape trial, and we shift gears a bit here now, and we'll go wherever you want to go this morning. Mary Elaine is putting the phone number up there, 737-7587. We can talk about a wide range of topics if you want to jump into the conversation and bring it up, and certainly one of them can still be the Vanderbilt rape case, the aftermath of the guilty verdicts for the two defendants. And, we learned more yesterday. I thought it was very interesting to hear from the jury foreman. I thought I'd throw some of that out there. But the jury foreman yesterday confirming what we've said all along, that the video in this case was just too damning to overcome. As we roll some file video from the trial here, of course, Brandon Vandenberg shaking his head in disbelief. And, just maybe if you have a reaction to what the jury foreman said. I think I heard in Chris's story, Chris Conti yesterday, who covered that for us, saying that the foreman indicated Corey Beatty taking the stand really didn't help himself, maybe hurt him a bit. I'm not exactly sure how. Chris didn't go into that, but it wasn't a major factor. And he said, the foreman, that the jurors pretty much, when they went back there, had already made their mind up on a large portion of the charges of guilt and just had to work out some of the other issues. So that's something to talk about. Your observations, too. We didn't take a lot of phone calls afterward, but I think that both Brandon Vandenberg and Corey Beatty, to some degree, felt as though, they might walk or be acquitted or certainly not be found guilty of the most serious charge. And based on some of the stories and some of the people I've talked to, it really seemed as though, not that they had a cavalier attitude during the moments while the jury was deliberating out there, hanging out in the Birch building waiting for a decision, but almost as though, you have this image of Brandon thinking, well, when the jury comes back, where should we go to dinner tonight? I mean, I understand being optimistic. They had fine attorneys, did the best they could. But if I had sat there as one of the defendants watching all this, I would have, I think, recognized that, I might be in some trouble here. And my observation, I don't know if you agree with me, is I get the sense that Corey Beatty certainly understood when he saw the video that what he did was horrible. Okay? Now, he says he was drunk and it wasn't himself. He thought that was awful. I think right now, as he sits in the Davidson County Jail just across the street here, Brandon Vandenberg, based on just my observations, still doesn't think he did anything wrong. And if that's the case, he's got plenty of time to think about it and figure it out, because that's just someone who is in complete and total denial. I've heard that one of his lawyers has asked about maybe filing something about bond or, a bail or anything along those lines. You know what? Don't waste your time. And I don't believe it's Fletcher Long. It may be his attorney out of California asking about, let's look into the possibility of bond. And there is no possibility for bond. On these charges, these guys are gone. They're in jail. They can appeal, but they do not get to be out on bond pending their appeal. That's not going to happen. Their sentence has already started. The days are counting right now on whatever sentence they end up getting. So certainly if you want to weigh in on the Vanderbilt rape case, absolutely. I know that was the big story, and we can talk more about it. I keep commenting on it and adding my insight when we go onto my Facebook page, NC5_Nick Barris. Each day I've added some little tidbits that I've picked up since, and the reaction and the comments from you are excellent. So we can pick that up where we left off here. A couple other things just want to throw out there, and it doesn't all have to be that, folks, and we can stay on that as long as you like, but other news of the week if you want to jump in. One of the issues that I find interesting, a lot of people out there have questions about vaccines and that there could be bad effects for children that get vaccines, which, by the way, I don't buy for a second, but I know some people believe it, and some parents choose not to have measles vaccines for their children. Well, I saw the story this morning coming in that there are some parents now, asking that schools not allow kids that don't get the vaccines to come to school. I don't think that's fair. I don't think they should be excluded, but I understand the concern. These parents that do not want their children to get vaccinated for any of these scary, dangerous illnesses, well, if those kids get exposed and come down with it and their carriers bringing it to school, if everyone else is vaccinated, hopefully they'll be protected, but you never know. I mean, you don't need that walking around, and I wonder how you feel about that. I wonder how you feel about the whole vaccine issue. I can tell you this, my son has gotten his vaccinations. I believe in them. I've had vaccinations all my life. I don't believe, are there reactions sometimes? Sure. But in general, I think it's fine, and I don't have a problem with it. It's like the same issue about fluoride in water. There's some people that want fluoride taken out of water. I disagree. I have absolutely no problem with fluoride in it. And I know I'll get some people calling me with a conspiracy about how it's poisoning us all. I don't buy it for a second. I think fluoride does more good, far, far more good, and I'm not aware of any bad, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, those kind of things. If you want to jump in along those lines, of course, a few big announcements this past week. The Google Fiber issue. Some of you are into that and excited about it. Give me a call, only because I'm not sure I fully understand how you and I will benefit from it. I think it's good that, they're choosing Nashville to be one of a handful of markets getting this going. I understand it's supposed to be very, very fast, internet connection and all that, but I don't got a handle on it. Are you excited about that? And then one last thing is the phones are filling up. Super Bowl's this weekend. Do you care? I'm just curious. Are you one of those people? Obviously, the Titans are not in the Super Bowl. It doesn't look like they're going to get there anytime soon. But are you one of those people that if you watch the Super Bowl, you're more interested in the commercials during the breaks than the game itself, especially if neither one of those teams are one that you care about? Because the commercials get all this publicity right now. In fact, did you see there's this controversy over already two of these Super Bowl ads? GoDaddy has a Super Bowl ad with a puppy that I guess some people didn't like, and it looks like GoDaddy's pulling that right now through some of the early showings of it. And Budweiser has a puppy ad, that I think is going to stay put. And, everyone's got an opinion on these ads. And I have to admit, most of the time when I'm watching a TV show, I'll step away for a moment during the commercial break, maybe to go to the bathroom or something like that, and not watch all the commercials. That's my chance while the show's on break. But with the Super Bowl, it's funny. It's like all of a sudden there's a timeout. And let's face it, sports games, sporting events, too many commercials, too many breaks for me. And I'll usually go off for a while. But with the Super Bowl, it's funny. I will sit there. Oh, this is the GoDaddy video? Okay. Or is this the Budweiser? That's GoDaddy, I guess, right? Yeah. This is one of the GoDaddy ads that apparently was pulled, and it has puppies. It has something about a puppy not looking happy, and people don't like unhappy puppies, as you saw there. You love puppies. It's funny. I mean, in this day and age, you can have people putting up with some very, very racy women or, things that are maybe degrading to humans. But you do something to a puppy, you're asking for trouble. And not that GoDaddy did anything to the puppy. I think the theme of it was just something where the puppy there looked a little unhappy, and you don't want to do that. So they pulled that ad. I think Budweiser has one where maybe the puppies look happier. Who knows? Anyway, do you watch the ads or you watch the games? That's just some of them I'm throwing out there, but the phone lines are loaded, and I suspect a lot of you want to talk about the Vandy rape case, which is fine because there's a lot more to talk about. By no means is that completely over. There's still two defendants out there waiting to see what's going to happen with them. There's still sentencing. We'll see whether or not Vandenberg and Beatty get the low end, 15 years, or what I've heard is the highest option for them, maybe 25. And there was some question about, okay, under some sentencing guidelines, could they serve that at 85%? Yes, if it was just one count. More than one count, what I've heard is it's 100%. It's not going to be one of those where they say 25 years, and then all of a sudden we read in the paper or we're reporting here on News Channel 5 a few years later, guess what, they're getting out 5-6 years early. No. This crime's 100%. All right, so we'll take a few calls. We'll get it going for you before we go to the break. And what do you think? You want to sound off? Open phones Thursday, whatever you want to talk about. We'll take a couple calls before we go to break. We'll go to Jen. Jen, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's on your mind, Jen?
Well, the rape trial.
All right, go ahead. What's your thoughts right now, 2 days later?
My opinion is the jury got it 100% correct.
Okay.
And the state of Tennessee better put the other two on trial because they should not get any special favors.
Well, they agreed to help the prosecution, so they're doing that with the idea of getting something in return, don't you think?
I think they're stupid.
Well, who's stupid? I think if you're in their shoes, they're smart to try to cut a deal because you saw what just happened to the other two.
I know. But I think McKenzie should have took the fifth because he's just as guilty as the other two.
Well, I think those other two clearly are charged with the same exact crimes that Beatty and Vandenberg were. We don't yet know right now exactly how things are going to play on that. I think the DA's office and the District Attorney Glenn Funk will sit down with his prosecutors in the next few weeks and discuss exactly what they're going to do with the two other pending cases. It just has not been decided, but I'm telling you right now, I don't think there's going to be another trial. I could be wrong, but I think there's no way there's going to be another trial for those two. I think some type of an agreement will be worked out. And this does not mean they're going to walk, but they're not going to be given a sentence like Beatty and Vandenberg got. All right, we'll take a break on that note and be back with a bunch of your calls. We'll keep those lines open up till 9 o'clock right after this.